At last, you've come back.
We found one of the Grace Group spooks, Peter Fielding.
I see. Is he still intact?
Yeah, he tried to get me to join a gym.
I thought as much.
You thought so? What do you mean?
You know as well as I do, a spirit cannot be moved from this world until it is spiritually ready. It would appear that is also the case here.
So what? We just leave this spook to rot?
Of course not. It has been known for some spirits to become aware on their own. The right face, the right moment, anything can trigger it. And if that happens to Fielding, no. Our duty is to save him, and save him we shall.
How? The usual rules have been chucked out the window. We make a move and he gets hammered, and we're not gonna let that happen, not again.
It is a dilemma for certain.
But what about George and Leah?
From my understanding, they were aware of their death when they were taken.
Yeah, they were.
Then there is your answer. They were spiritually ready to leave this world, and so were vulnerable. This Fielding, was it? He is a lucky soul indeed. Until he is made aware, he cannot be taken. Not by you, or by anyone else.
We need to think about this, plan our next move.
Of course. In fact, I might have an idea along those lines. I must confer with my host. Please excuse me.
He's okay? Peter's really okay?
He is still deceased, but in all other respects, yes. He is as well as can be.
This changes everything. You have no idea. You two, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I never even considered that Peter's soul could be saved. And maybe Heather, too. Yes, Heather. If she wasn't taken, then her soul must still be lost.
And this is a good thing?
Of course. If a soul is merely lost, it still can be saved. And maybe so can mine.
So, what's your plan?
We are approaching this from ignorance, and possibly from fear. Before I was trapped in the void, I was a spirit guide for a very long time. I can learn much from a spirit by looking at it, and talking to it. If Fielding's soul still exists, then it must be brought here.
And Heather. Heather's soul must still be out there.
And her as well, of course.
Peter Fielding's spook is at the gym. It's not too far away. You can talk to him there.
Are you kidding? I step out of this circle, who knows what could happen? If I die, there's a good chance I'll be an aware spirit, just like Leah and George, and then...
Be at peace, my host. I would not ask you to do such a thing.
Well, thank heaven for that.
Besides, it is unnecessary. As you say, only spiritually aware souls are attacked. Since this Fielding is not spiritually aware, meeting him in his current state would be fruitless. We need to awaken him before I can determine anything about him.
Won't awakening these ghosts destroy him? Aren't we trying to avoid that?
Don't be absurd. We'll put them behind this circle. They will be safe there.
And how are we supposed to do that? Spooks like me can't enter the thing.
This might surprise you, Malone, but I did think of that. Come here. Take this.
What's this thing?
Call it a totem. It was made with some of my essence. The circle was created in much the same manner, so it will make a perfect focus. When you awaken a spirit, use the totem to send them directly here. They will remain safely behind the circle until we can determine the next course of action.
So I'll be trapped in this circle with Peter and Heather's ghosts?
I am afraid so, my host.
Well, I suppose it can't be helped. And I guess it will be nice to see them again.
Yes.
Is there anything else you can tell me about Peter? Anything that can help us?
No. Of all the people in our group, Peter was the one I spoke to the least. I think George once belonged to his gym, even took personal training sessions for a while. But George wasn't really the personal fitness type.
I need to know everything you can tell me about Heather.
Well, there was one thing. It was a confession of sorts, you see, and she trusted me.
What was it?
You don't understand. It was a confession. It might have been a long time ago, but it was still a sacred trust. I can't betray that trust. It goes against everything I believe in.
Don't you think that under the circumstances, she would understand?
I'm not sure God would.
Does it really matter? What's the worst that could happen? You lose your soul?
My God, when you put it like that. Heather was a prostitute. She wanted to confess, but didn't feel right entering a church. She might have been Jewish, judging by her name, but I think she just wanted to speak to someone who understood.
Understood.
Someone who had been to grace group meetings. Someone who had had a life-changing revelation, like I did. I don't know what her revelation was, but she wanted to purge herself of her old life. So she asked if I could come to her apartment and listen to her. So I did.
Do you remember where she lived?
I was a priest entering the house of a prostitute. It's not something you forget. She lived by Tompkins Square Park. Here's the address.
I guess we should get going.
Then I do believe our talk is concluded. I will return outside.
Hey, Madeline?
Yes, my host.
It's all right.
All right.
Yeah, stay inside. It's cold out there.
I don't feel the cold, my host.
I know. Just stay, please. And thanks.
It is my pleasure, my host.